Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of my pregnancy journey series. I'm so excited to be doing this. My name is Millicent Mosuo and welcome to my channel. I forgot to introduce myself because I know we've got new subscribers and I appreciate you guys so much. I'm so excited to be filming this, but before I could go into the details, I just want to put a disclaimer to say, guys, I'm not trying to give out any tips, any advices. I'm just basically documenting my own journey because I thought my journey was just so supernatural for me, and I thought I should film it and share with you guys, right? So I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not trying to say this is what you must do, this is what you mustn't do, but I'm just sharing my journey. If you draw inspiration from my journey, I'll be so happy, right? So going straight into the juicy part, I put down a few pointers here that can help me, create a conversation, because at this point of my pregnancy, I even forget the words. I forget the name of things. So I've written down pointers that are just going to help me create the conversation so that you guys get a full story of how my journey has been. So in this episode, I would like to cover the journey, like from first trimester until where I am right now, right? So the first pointer is, how did I find out? Okay, first of all, we planned for the baby. We planned for the pregnancy. We had this discussion before we got married, when we were preparing for our lobola celebration, I think. My husband and I had this conversation early last year, because we did our lobola in Feb 2021. So in Jan we discussed it, and we wanted to know if does he want to have kids? Do I want to have kids? And when do I want to have kids? Am I that person who wants to wait, like give it 5 years in marriage before we can try? Is he also that person? And I thought the conversation was very important, because it's nice to go into marriage knowing exactly what you're getting yourself into, so that you don't get disappointed, right? So we had that conversation, and we just found out that we both wanted to have kids, and we both didn't see any need to wait. So we planned this. However, my expectation was not to conceive right away. I didn't know that it's possible for a person to say they are trying to have a baby today and they actually conceive. And that was the case for us. I thought that maybe when you try, you're going to try for like 12 months, 2 months, or a month first, and then you only conceive later. Also, I think a lot of people in my life, they tried for quite some time before they could conceive. So that was an assumption on my side. That's the only part that I didn't know, right? So knowing how I found out, obviously I missed my period, and I had a little bit of headache. I think it was on a Wednesday. I was supposed to go on my period on a Sunday, and they didn't come. Monday they didn't come. Tuesday, Monday they didn't come. Yes, and then I decided to buy a pregnancy test, which I think it was too early for me to test, or I probably didn't know how to use that particular pregnancy test. I don't know. And then it was negative. And then I told my husband that it means it didn't happen. He was like, don't worry, at the right time. And even me as well, I just wanted us to have fun, not to try and make a baby, I didn't want us to have that kind of mindset in our home. So okay, then Tuesday no period, Wednesday no period. On a Thursday I felt a little bit of headache, and then I told my manager at the company that I was working for that this is what is happening, this is how I feel, I won't make it for work today. And she was like, don't you think you should test for pregnancy? I don't know why. And I decided, you know what, maybe let me buy it. I ordered it again and it came. Then it was during the day. I couldn't hold myself. So Actually, I inboxed, I was using Clear Blue. I inboxed them on Instagram, and then I told them that this is how I tested and this is what's happening. These are the results that I got. And but I still haven't seen my period. So then they were like, they told me exactly how I'm supposed to use the pregnancy test, and I did exactly that. And you know, within seconds, the results were showing positive. Yeah, I was so excited. I immediately took a picture, sent it to my husband because he was at work. I was working from home. I sent it to him. I was like, yeah, congratulations, baby. We were celebrating. And I called my mom and my sister, obviously. And I told them that, you're going to be a grandmom. I wish I recorded that. But I think I was just in the moment. My mom was so excited. And I also told my sister, the one who was my maid of honor, because I promised her that if I fall pregnant, you're gonna be the first person to know, because she has been saying, hey, don't waste time, blah 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 blah. So then I told her. She was so happy for me. She gave me very good advices regarding pregnancy, that this is not something that you announce. You have to allow the first trimester first before. She was even saying you don't even have to announce. People will see for themselves, but you don't share details. Take care of yourself. She gave me very valuable advices. She's just the best sister, that one. So yeah, I don't want to keep the video too long. And yeah, that's how we found out. And ever since that day, it has been, I think our lives changed. And for me, I was just wilding all the way. Okay, now that we're pregnant, and obviously we needed to look for a gynae, and we called the gynae, made an appointment with them, and they told us that he's fully booked. He can only see us, I think he only saw us when we were like 8 weeks. Yeah, it felt so long for me, guys. I kept checking my bump. Nothing was happening. I kept buying a lot of pregnancy tests. Like every time when I want to be sure if we're really pregnant, I didn't feel like I was pregnant. So I buy a lot of pregnancy tests and and my husband went like, you keep buying this pregnancy test, we're pregnant, And okay, I think a few days later we also informed the parents, my parents-in-law. They were also very excited. They were very happy for us, gave us valuable advices as well. And throughout my first trimester, guys, I did not have any sicknesses. And I remember before we planned, I used to pray about it, and I used to tell my husband that, you know what, I'm not going to be sick, I'm not going to be ugly, I'm going to be glowing. These are the things that I'm believing God for. I started praying about that, and I think anyone can do this. And that is why I'm saying my pregnancy has been just like a supernatural journey. Till today I never vomited. I never had any form of sicknesses, guys. Nothing. Throughout my first trimester, I was just glowing. There was no bump, which was hurting me a little bit. So the only time I felt like we seeing the baby, we feeling pregnant, was when we're doing those ultrasounds. And that's the only time I felt pregnant. Otherwise, I never really felt pregnant. And until I think early this year, when I went to church, my bump was showing a little bit, and everyone at church was like, girl, how come? We were with you last year. Like, there was nothing. You didn't even look like you were pregnant. And suddenly there's a bump. And I was so happy the first time I discovered the bump. So, yeah, let me not waste time on the details. So, the first reaction, who did you tell first? I explained, guys. And all my trimesters were smooth for me. I promise you, I know that for some people it's hell. The experience is not nice at all, but for me, I chose to trust God, and I just want to come in here and give God the glory, because I personally believe that for my journey to be as smooth as it was, it's because I decided to believe God for that. I believe that it was God who gave me this, and I'm so grateful for this good health. I don't, in every prayer that I ever made, I'm always grateful for good health. I'm always grateful that I never got sick, because I was able to continue doing my work. I was able to continue doing my speaking gigs. I hosted a workshop. I didn't feel like I was pregnant. I worked so much harder than I ever worked, even when I was not pregnant. And I thank God for that. And I did a video where I was sharing the word of God about how good health is our birthright. And I mentioned that God intended for us to live, in good health, so that we may continue, functioning in our purposes. It was coming from a personal experience of how God answered my prayer. So yeah, if you're watching this video and you want to try out and trust God, I promise you, if you want to trust God for your good health, or maybe you're planning to have a baby, I'm going to say, based on my experience with how God has been there for us, it is possible for Him to provide that good health for you, and so you can enjoy your pregnancy, right? So, okay, going into our first consultation, obviously that's where you get to hear the heartbeat of the baby, right? Yo, guys, nothing could ever prepare you for that moment, like that. We were so overjoyed. My husband was a bit traumatized. He was like, he couldn't believe it. So when we got to the car, he was like, hey, now I have to work hard. Now I believe that we're really pregnant, because like I said, it didn't feel like we were pregnant, because nothing was showing. So yeah, that's how it was. So the most weird things I have done, guys, I've done the weird things. Yo, this baby, like, when you just fell in love with your unborn baby, the love is so different. I can't even describe it. I never loved anyone like I love my unborn baby, and I don't think I'll ever love anyone like I would love my children, honestly. And now I started, thinking about how much my mother loves us, and it used to like irritate us that, yo, she's too much, always calling. But now I really understand. Now that I'm a mother or a mom to be, I really understand. So, and the pregnancy, like, I think as women we can be too much sometimes. I would tell my husband that, let's go to Spain, celebrate. After every consultation, don't you want us to go to Spain just to celebrate this baby and celebrate the new month? Every time you go for a gynae's checkup, you would have, like, maybe I think every 4 weeks, I think. So I would always say, don't you want us to go and celebrate those? That's one of the weird things that I used to do. And the other thing was testing more often, like I mentioned. And everything just became about the baby, I think. And I think I owe my husband for his patience, guys. Conversations changed, like everything became about the baby. I was always on YouTube learning about what's happening. I'm telling you, I know what happens in every single week of the baby. I know, like, I have this app, my pregnancy app, that I installed on my phone, the one I'm using to record. So I would always like read what's happening today, what's growing today, and I kind of feel like it helped me to know exactly what I'm praying for. For example, if the app says this week the lungs are gonna start to develop, I know what I'm praying for, I know what I'm thanking God for, and I know what exactly I'm declaring, that as the lungs are developing this week, I pray that this and this and this and this, and I just put a scripture there. So it was just crazy, guys. And the other thing that I appreciate about my pregnancy is that it has brought me so much closer to God. I loved reading the word of God and praying so much. And the other thing is we ate too much. We eating too much. Like, I think that's the only symptom. Like, I think we eat extremely too much, guys. I start my breakfast around 4 a.m. if I'm lucky, because sometimes like I would feel so hungry around 3:30 a.m. and I would want like solid food, like pap. Sometimes we would have to cook pap around that time. So because now I'd be awake, I wouldn't have anything to do. We woke up so early, then I'll start reading the word of God, praying, speaking blessings over my baby, over my marriage, our families, my friends, everyone, so it made me to pray a lot, and it has helped me to grow spiritually. I think those are one of the blessings that my pregnancy brought us. So how has pregnancy affected my marriage? I think for us, actually, before we got married, a lot of people told us that, hey, don't rush to have kids, because when they come, this and this and this will happen. There's so many things that people are gonna say even before you get married. But one of the biggest decisions that we made, me and my husband, is that we're going to ignore, because people although maybe it's coming from a good place, I don't know, but people are always going to impose their failures. They're not gonna tell you what they did and why did their marriage not work. The minute you say you're getting married, people are gonna say, hey, marriage is hard, blah 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 blah. But we chose to listen to those who say, this is how you can make marriage work. So even with the baby, we didn't want to listen to anyone who told us that pregnancy is going to affect our marriage badly. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm trying to say we didn't want to look forward to getting our marriage affected badly, but we chose to listen to those who made it work, and we chose to learn on how they made it work. So he was telling me that some of the people who care about him, they told him that things are gonna change, be patient, she might not be nice sometimes she might be this, but this is how you can manage it. Those are the people that we were listening to and he was listening to. And I never felt like pregnancy has affected our marriage, but I'm sure he will say his side, but which he doesn't want to tell me. I'm like, things are still the same, right? It's like, things have changed, but I don't know. But like I said, I'm grateful that he chose to listen to people who actually brought solutions other than scaring him, Yeah, so that's all I can say, And then any changes in the body, guys, first trimester there was no change, it was just glowing, babe. Second trimester, bona naked low. Third trimester, my nose started growing, my lips started growing dark, my armpits are also dark. My skin hasn't really changed. I don't have those acne thing, and my neck is still a little bit fine. I never thought I'd have silver stripes, so I actually blame myself for this. I never bought those oils that people apply like during the first, second and third trimester. I only started applying them now when I noticed some silver stripes. I don't know what you call them. They started developing on my bum, but on my stomach I don't have. It's just my bum and a few of them on my waist, but I still don't see them moving. So I just told myself that, you know what, let me accept and give in my body to make sure my priority right now is the baby. I don't care about stretch marks, I'll deal with them later. But I only started applying those oils in the last trimester. So that's it about my pregnancy journey. I will be covering a lot of hot topics, how I planned, how I prepared and everything, and I hope you are going to enjoy this series and you're watching. If you liked it, please comment below, like and share with your friends. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Bye. Cheers from us.